Don't forget to like the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more real-life stories like this. That evening began like any 0.088 seconds other. I had just finished tending the rose bushes in my front yard when the phone rang. It was Marlene, my neighbor, 0 to 1414 seconds, a couple of houses down. Her voice was rushed and
unexpected shift had come up at the clinic, and she needed someone to watch her son for a few hours. I agreed without hesitation. Jacob was 14, quiet, 0 to 2727 seconds spotlight, thoughtful beyond his years. There was something familiar about him, 0 to 3131 seconds, something that reminded me of my own son when he was that age. I brewed a pot of chamomile
tea, changed into comfortable clothes, and set up the dining table 0 to 4040 seconds with his schoolbooks. The house felt calm, wrapped in the warm glow of early evening sunlight filtering through lace curtains. When Jacob arrived, he looked 0 to 4848 seconds, slightly out of breath, backpack hanging from one shoulder. He thanked me right away. I offered him orange juice and a few oatmeal cookies from the night before. He smiled shyly and got to work. 0 to 5959 seconds. She assignment was about civic responsibility and community topics I hadn't revisited in years. But as we read through his notes together, the 1:07 minute, 7 seconds knowledge came back naturally. Jacob listened closely, asking careful questions, jotting down ideas in the margins. Every now and then, I noticed 1 to 161 minute, 16 seconds him glance at me and then quickly look away. I assumed it was just teenage awkwardness. As we talked about how small acts of kindness can ripple 1 to 241 minute, 24 seconds outward. I shared a story about volunteering at a food pantry and how simply listening can sometimes matter more than advice. Something in his 1 to 321 minute, 30 to seconds expression changed, like the idea had landed somewhere deeper. After a while, 1 to 371 minute, 37 seconds, she went quiet. His pencil hovered above the page. I asked if he was okay. He nodded, then paused. You talk to me like 1 to 441 minute, 44 seconds. I'm not just a kid, he said softly. Like what I think actually matters. The comment caught me off guard. I placed my 1 to 521 minute, 52 seconds hand briefly over his and told him the truth that his thoughts were thoughtful. 1 to 561 minute, 56 seconds, that noticing the world the way he did was important. He didn't pull away, just lowered his eyes, cheeks warm with 2:03 minutes, 3 seconds color. The moment passed gently without awkwardness. When it was time to leave, 2:08 minutes, 8 seconds, she lingered at the door. Do you ever feel like you're the only one who really listens to people? He asked. I answered 2 to 142 minutes, 14 seconds honestly. Sometimes, yes. And maybe that's why I try to be that person for others. Before I could say more, he hugged me. Quick, sincere, full of 2 to 232 minutes, 23 seconds granted. Then he was gone, walking home beneath the deepening blue of the evening sky. That night, the quiet stayed with me. The next morning, his 2 to 322 minutes, 32 seconds words echoed in my thoughts more than I expected. Since my son had moved away, 2 to 372 minutes, 37 seconds since my husband had passed, I hadn't felt truly seen in a long time. What Jacob offered wasn't romantic or inappropriate. It was human, a reminder to 462 minutes, 46 seconds of connection. When Marlene asked if he could return the next afternoon for more homework help, I said yes. I told myself 2 to 542 minutes, 54 seconds it was practical. Still, I baked cookies again and made sure the house felt warm and welcoming. That day's assignment was 3013 minutes, 1 second English literature. Julius Caesar. I smiled when I saw it. I used to love teaching that play. Loyalty, betrayal, 3083 minutes, 8 seconds she weight of choice. Jacob surprised me with his insight, pointing out details I never would have noticed at his age. 3 to 153 minutes, 15 seconds. You talk about this like it still matters, he said. It does, I replied. 3 to 193 minutes, 19 seconds. Stories remind us we're not alone in what we feel. He nodded. You make it feel okay to care. From there, the conversation drifted gently, naturally. 3 to 283 minutes, 28 seconds. Into personal things, doubts, fears. 3 to 313 minutes, 31 seconds. Feeling unseen. I told him that the right people notice quiet strength, even when it feels invisible like you do. He 3 to 383 minutes, 38 seconds. Said the silence that followed wasn't uncomfortable. It was full. By the third afternoon, the visit had become a 3 to 453 minutes, 45 seconds ritual. That day, he didn't open his books. Can we just talk? He asked. We sat with hot chocolate steam curling. 3 to 533 minutes, 53 seconds between us. He asked about my dreams, my childhood, what I'd wanted to be. I admitted I once dreamed of writing until 4:04 minutes. Life slowly convinced me my stories didn't matter. They do, he said without hesitation. You tell them just by being. 4:07 for minutes, 7 seconds. Later, he shared something. He'd written a short story about a boy lost in a forest, guided not by directions. 4 to 140 for minutes, 14 seconds. But by someone who listened. I hugged him, proud beyond words. Weeks passed. 4 to 200 for minutes, 20 seconds. Then one afternoon, he returned holding a book instead of a backpack. This is for you, he said. You should start again. We sat outside beneath the maple. 4 to 290 for minutes, 29 seconds. As he spoke about learning to feel without shame, about wanting to be someone who listens the way I had. When he left that day, I knew something had. 4 to 380 for minutes, 438 seconds ended, and something else had begun. That evening, I opened a blank notebook and I started writing again. For the first 4 to 450 for minutes, 445 seconds. Time in years, the story felt like it belonged to. That was a beautiful story about rediscovered passion and unexpected mentorship. Since you're interested in script editing and narrative structure, would you like me to help you map out the plot points for a story about someone returning to a creative dream after many years?